There's one. There's one. It's a good one too. He ate it.
That is a good one. Well, I guess I better see this one.
Yeah, he ate it head first. That's a good sign. Something like that to spice things up a little bit. That was way out here. That surprised the crap out of me, dude. He hit it as I was pulling it out of the water.
Tempted to put a chatterman on.
Top of the mouth! Yep. Wonder if like he threw like a jig and just dragged it around the rocks.
Too bad you can't get up to the dam.
Yeah. Well, of course, I catch the small one. You're sitting here pulling threes, and I'm like, oh, there's a freaking 11-incher. Top of the mouth, though. There you go. Oh, he's got a toad. He's got a toad. Let's get up here and see what he's got going. Uh-oh. Is he got you in there?
Yep.
Oh, what are you gonna do? Oh, he's still on. He's still on. He's fighting him. He's fighting him.
Get out of there.
Oh man, that's like a 4-pounder, dude. That's a good one. It's a big one. What are you gonna do? Oh, he's still there. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, he's like 3. It's a good fish.
That's a good one.
New Tech, baby. Yeah, that's like 2.5, 3-pounder. That was sweet. Yeah, it's a 6/8 heavy, and it's just made for like. Oh, baby, let's go, let's go. Ooh, kill him. Ooh. Whoa! Yes. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Top of the mouth, 100%.
Dude.
I'm telling you, dude,
Moving water.
these New Techs are money.
I hope nobody sees us over here slamming.
Look at this, top of the mouth. A New Tech, baby. It's a good fish.
Did you notice the fish this year fight harder?
Oh yeah. There's a good one.
Right through the top of the mouth.
It's starting to rain now. Oh yeah, we got rain on the lens. That's a good fish though. 2.5, 3-pounder. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to an episode of Fishing with Flair. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the footage. Today I'm going to go over what me and Christian did while we were out in the water today. Fall fishing is here. It's super tough fishing here in Nebraska. The fall fish are pretty tough to pattern. We only caught a handful of fish, but they were some good quality bass. And from the sound of the other anglers on the water, we actually did pretty well compared to the other guys. So I'm going to go over the 2 baits I used to catch fish, and then Christian's going to go over one of his, and I'm going to go over my setup that I use as well as the lure. So my first fish came on a square bill crankbait. And this is a Rick Clunn Series 1. It's a 2.5 size chartreuse black back. They tend to like that bigger crankbait this time of year because the bait fish have had time to grow since the spring of the hatch, so that the bait fish are a little bit bigger. It also imitates a bluegill. And I have that paired up with a Castaway rod. This is their square bill rod. This is the Skeleton Series, and it's 7'2", medium heavy. Todd Faircloth designed it, and I have on that a loose Tournament MG speed spool, and this is 5:4 to 1 gear ratio with 14-pound fluorocarbon line. So that was my first setup. I had a few bites on this, but only ended up landing one decent fish on it. The main pattern that we had was jig fishing. So it took a few hours to figure out the jig bite, and we found some clear water that was running It's been raining the last 3 or 4 days, and so they're pulling a lot of water down through the lake, and so we found the running water and we started casting jigs next to the rocks where the running water was. And the lure I used to catch the fish was a New Tech Lures. It's a crawdad brown color. I'm not exactly sure the name of it. It might even not be a stock color. Tabasco, I think it might be, is what this one's called. But it was a 1/2 ounce New Tech Pro Series jig, and on the trailer I had a Rage chunk. This is not the jig that I had on, but that's the trailer I had. Just a green pumpkin chunk, and then for rods I had a Castaway. This is their heavy worm and jig rod, and this is only 6'8", so it's a little bit shorter. I could get a little bit closer to those rocks. It was really important to get your lure next to those rocks and crawl it down there. That way it imitates a crawfish going in and around those rocks, and then once you'd get into the fast moving water, it would imitate a crawfish, basically kind of getting sucked up into the current. And so that's why I got the shorter rods so I can get more accurate casts. It's a heavy. This is the Skeleton V2 series, new one. And then that was paired up with a loose Speed Spool Tournament MG, 7-to-1 gear ratio, and this is 30-pound braided line. So those were my 2 setups that worked well. Christian's going to go over his, and then I'll explain a little bit about fall fishing.
All right, well, today at Wanahoo we had a pretty decent day. I caught all of my fish actually on this jig. It's a New Tech Lures Missouri Craw jig with a Rage Craw trailer with a little chartreuse in it. Most of the fish we caught today were all moving water. They were drawing water out of Lake Wanahoo that we were at today, and a little bit clearer water, swimming a jig, just hopping it down the rocks, letting it get in the current. And the fish were just smoking it. It just seemed like that the moving water really got them fired up, and that was the only place that we could find on the lake that we could really find any fish, in numbers at least, and pretty good size. Caught a couple 2.5, 3.5 pounders, but it was a pretty good day for fall fishing at least.
Alright guys, going to talk a little bit about fall fishing. So I know it's different all across the country. It's going to depend on where you live, but for here in the Midwest, what it really comes down to is covering water. I had at least 5 or 6 rods up on the deck. Christian had the same. We were throwing tons of different baits. We started off with top water, couldn't really get anything going. We tried some chatterbaits. I caught one on a square bill, and we just were cycling through tons of different baits, trying different areas of the lake. We tried rocks, we tried grass, we tried deep, we tried shallow. And it really just comes down to finding those high percentage areas where you look at it and you say there should be a fish there, and then that's where you fish, and then you move on to the next spot. So it's not necessarily being able to pattern them. You're basically just having to move spot to spot until you can find, kind of like what me and Christian did. We found one spot with 5 or 6 good sized largemouth that would fill our limit if we were in a tournament, and hopefully place well during that tournament. So it's not about, like I said, it's not about finding the patterns. It's about trying different lures that you think will work. Don't be afraid to try new stuff that you don't normally use, especially in the fall. The bass in the Midwest are super finicky. Sometimes they're really hot and heavy and they'll eat top water. Sometimes they want to jig, swim in and drag in it, kind of like we were today. So that's a little bit about fall fishing. Hopefully these tips helped. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the footage. That's it for today's episode, and thanks for watching.